Taiwan has been widely applauded for its management of the pandemic, with one of the lowest per capita COVID-19 rates to the world and life largely returning back to normal. But how did it achieve such success in this pandemic? That's what we're going to talk about in today's video. While COVID-19 has been ravaging the world, sending economies into a freefall, Taiwan has enjoyed near normal life and an increase of its GDP. It is widely agreed that the pandemic could have been prevented if China had been more transparent and acted sooner to contain the virus. This brings us to our first point: quick action, a lesson learned from the SARS outbreak. At that time, the Taiwanese were not sufficiently aware of SARS, and they had never encountered such a challenging threat. Eventually, large-scale infections occurred in several hospitals, and the entire population fell into a collective panic, as if everyone were in danger.
How do medical personnel contract illnesses? Healthcare workers frequently come in contact with many types of diseases, viruses, and bacteria. They've had it all before, so they're mostly immune to all manner of viruses. So when an illness strikes 2 or 3 medical staff at the same time, we'd find that very strange. How can they be infected like this at the same time? Could it be that nobody has the antibodies for it, and it's a new disease? At that time, we already had suspicions that this was a new contagious disease.
A hasty closure of the Heping hospital and the death of the head nurse due to SARS caused a serious blow to the work morale of the nurses. Furthermore, a total of 181 people died, of which 17 of them were healthcare workers, contributing to a major psychological conflict among the frontline medical staff between their duties and their own safety. Thus, 9% of healthcare workers reported that they were unwilling to work and considered resigning during the outbreak. SARS did bring tremendously painful lessons to Taiwan. According to a population-based study in Taiwan, 9.2% of participants reported that their perception of life became more pessimistic after the SARS crisis. The prevalence of psychiatric morbidity was 11.7%, which indicates that any international medical crisis and any epidemic should be related to psychiatry. On the basis of this lesson, Taiwanese individuals are highly alert and sensitive to the COVID-19 pandemic. People are very concerned about obtaining sufficient security to reduce anxiety, such as surgical masks and alcohol hand sanitizers. Thus, at the start of the pandemic, Taiwan was considered high risk for COVID-19 due to its proximity to China and the frequent travel that takes place between the two countries. With a history of SARS in 2003, which was not considered to be handled particularly well, the Taiwanese government acted quickly to close its borders this time around. It set up a central epidemic command center on January 20th, 2020 to coordinate cooperations across different government ministries and agencies and between government and businesses. The winning combination. The R number is a way of rating an infectious disease's ability to spread. It represents the average number of people that one infected person will pass the virus on to. An R number of greater than 1 means the virus will continue to spread and outbreaks will continue to occur. An R number below 1 means that case numbers will start to reduce. A study found that the case-based policies alone, like contact tracing and quarantining, could lower the R number from 2.5 to 1.53. Quarantine contributed the most to lowering the R number. Case-based interventions could not substantially prevent transmission from one person to another, but could reduce transmission onwards from those secondary cases to a third or fourth person, as long as close contacts are quarantined. Population-based policies like social distancing and face masks, meanwhile, reduce the R number from 2.5 to 1.3. The authors concluded that it was the combination of case-based and population-based policies along with widespread adherence that led to Taiwan's success in containing COVID-19. Combining both approaches led to an R number estimated using two different models to be 0.82 and as low as 0.62. They also found that considerable population-based policies were needed to achieve containment, even though the numbers of circulating infections were small. Neither approach would have been sufficient alone, even with an effective public health system and sophisticated contact tracing. Taiwan was among the first places to ban foreign visitors almost as soon as China reported the emergence of the virus, and these tough border restrictions still remain in place today. Locally, however, the population started to become complacent, as did its government. Hospitals stopped aggressively testing people for COVID, even those with a fever, a common symptom of the virus, according to Associate Professor Lin Shin-ho of National Taiwan University. According to online publication of Our World Data, Taiwan was administering just 0.57 virus tests per 1,000 people in mid-February. This compared to Singapore's rate of 6.21 and the UK's rate of 8.68 at around the same period. There was a general assumption, even with people showing symptoms, that the probability of having COVID-19 was essentially zero, Dr. Lin told BBC, adding that it stemmed from a belief that the virus could not break through Taiwan's strong borders. Doctors were not taking it seriously. Hospitals were not alert. They were not doing a lot of contact tracing. There was definitely a sense of complacency. This was especially highlighted when Taiwan relaxed its quarantine requirements for non-vaccinated airline pilots from an initial 14-day period to 5 days, and then just 3 days. Shortly afterwards, a cluster broke out connected to a handful of China Airlines pilots who had been staying at a Novotel near Taoyuan Airport. Many of those linked to this cluster were later found to have contracted the UK variant known as B117. The virus then spread through the community, eventually making its way to Taiwan tea houses, adult entertainment venues. Now, with a daily reporting of 200 to 300 local cases, Taiwan is on high alert. But this is still a far cry from the thousands to hundreds of thousands of cases being reported from a single country. The coming weeks will be the ultimate test to see whether Taiwan is truly able to contain the spread of the virus. Taiwan is in a better position to contain the virus as it promised its own homegrown vaccine, as well as vaccines from other sources to be more widely available in the coming weeks. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, we're not out of the woods yet, but it's still nice to see things going back to normal, albeit slowly but surely. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and also follow me on Instagram and Facebook to see just how I'm dealing with this sudden surge of COVID-19 cases in Taiwan. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.